everyone, and welcome to Southern Sass Chats. My guest today hopped on the wholesome space scene with her role in the breakout hit Heartland, playing the role of Ashley Stanton, aka Hot Ash. And she's been warming our hearts for years, continuing with roles on Hallmark Channel, Great American Family, Up TV, etc. Please welcome Cindy Busby.
Hello, here
Hi,
I am.
how
What a
are
great
you?
introduction. I'm doing really well. I'm happy to be here to chat with you. And I also love the name of your podcast, Sass Chats. I'm like, okay, I feel that.
Thank you. Yeah, I've always had a bit of a sassy flair, so
I love it.
I just
How
thought
southern of you.
that's right. Yeah, Southern Belle and Southern Sass. So
Yes, 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 absolutely.
yeah, thanks. I decided to start this back in the summer, like late summer. Just I'm like an on a whim person. I just do things randomly and say, you know what, I want to try that. And I've had some fantastic guests on, many that are friends with you,
Yep.
and I hope to have more. But it's sort of as my schedule allows because I have a lot going on too. So I'll take breaks and come back.
Yep.
But I'm sure you know all about busy schedules because you're filming a TV show right now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually shooting When Hope Calls, our latest season, and I'm over the moon on how grateful I am to be a part of the show and to be working with the people that I get to work with, whether it's the cast or the crew. Um, I have to say it's truly been a dream job. And Christopher Russell, my co-star, and I, we often, chat together because we've known each other for like 10 years. And we're always like, pinch me, like, it's like, how did we get here? And we're always like, just chatting about how much we love to get to play these roles and to get to bring these stories to life and again to get to work with such an incredibly passionate cast and crew, and a lot of the crew that we have again this season were with us last season, so it just feels like we're picking up where we left off, and
You're
it's
familiar with each other and comfortable now.
yeah, it feels like a big family reunion for a couple months, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it leads me to one of the questions I was going to ask you. So I'm just going to ask that one first. Actually,
Yeah.
two questions, but one, we're going to just start with When Hope Calls. So, what drew you to the character of Nora when you read the script? By the way, I have Nora in one of my books too. So I love
Oh,
the
nice.
name.
Yeah, it's
And
gorgeous.
what drew you to that character when you read the script for her?
um Well, first of all, I had been wanting to be a part of a series for a really long time. I love getting to be a part of the Christmas movies and the summer movies and the fall movies. But there's something about getting to develop a character for a longer period of time and really explore the journey and just kind of like how you spoke about Heartland, like getting to be on that show for so many years and so getting to work on a series was a very big draw for me and something I'd been looking forward to for a really long time and just kind of waiting for the right opportunity to come my way. But what I love about Nora is, she's a woman ahead of her time in so many ways. It's 1920. She's a lawyer. She can really stand on her own 2 feet in a world where, especially as a woman, it wasn't always easy to get to speak your mind and get to defend people who deserve to have a voice. And while she also has a lot of those really strong elements, she's also so compassionate and caring. And you see a lot of that when she's with the children at the orphanage. And, she had a lot of troubles with her family growing up, her family being, kind of take in pieces, so to speak, where her sister's far away and now all of her family has passed away. And so it's a lot about second chances. And I really love that idea of characters and getting to explore, a period piece is really exciting because it's so different from most of the things that I've done and just even how, you sit at a table or how a woman and a man interact. Like it's very different than how it is today.
Yeah.
And although, that's a beautiful thing, change is great. It's also really fun to explore what it was like to be, human being back then. And so
Yeah.
that a mixture of all of those things is really what drew me to the part. And then, of course, when I found out that I was going to be working with Christopher Russell, which, as you know, we've done 4 movies together before this, I was just like, all right, forget it. I know that this was meant to be. There's definitely some sort of coordination out there in the universe that just needed to make this happen, and that was like an absolute dream come true.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask how many you had done with Chris because I know it's been a few.
Yeah.
And so you
4.
two were four. So you two, I remember watching Warming Up to You is one that I really liked. I just thought it
Yeah.
was cute. He was funny being like pretending to be, out of shape or whatever, because we know he's
Right.
perfectly in shape. So
Yeah. Very much in shape.
so that was funny watching you whip him into shape in that movie
Yeah.
too. And I think the costumes from that period just would
Mm,
be amazing just to get. I mean, they really probably help you get into character even more once you put the outfit on and have the
totally.
hair and everything done.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does, as an actor, you do all of your work ahead of time, as I'm sure like as a writer, you got to figure out the characters and the story, and then you put the words together. And as an actor, you kind of figure out the character and you dive into the script and then you bring it all to life. And so, and then when you put the costumes and the hair and makeup, it just like makes everything come together in such a beautiful way. And yeah, that's really special. I mean, of course, and I always like to say this, this is a period piece while also being romantic television. It's a romanticized version of the accuracy that was of the time. So of
Right.
course, there's some things that some people would be like, that wasn't actually accurate, but it's just meant to be beautiful and
Yes.
romantic and whimsical. So that part you kind of just have to let
Yeah, it's
it
like
be.
put your rose-colored glasses on and
Yes, exactly.
enjoy the journey because
Totally.
for me, it's escapism television.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
want if we're having a bad day, if we just like with reading the type of books that I write,
Yes.
um, if you're having a bad day or the world is just, driving you crazy from all the bad things you read
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
it's nice to just dive into a movie, a series, a book, or something that is light and sweet and letting you see people who are kind to one another and giving to each other.
Yeah.
And, the hope is that that rubs off on the
Yeah.
viewers and that can, expand into the world as we know it, and continue to bring good in the world because there is good in the world. And we need to see a lot of television that does focus on that. And
Yeah.
that's why I think your show is really sweet and important and cute and just fun.
Yeah, I always kind of bring that up, when I did interviews for last season when it came out, like the biggest takeaway from the show is just really the connection and the community that is Brookfield.
That's
And,
right.
whether that's Brookfield or whatever town or city, it's really about the people and helping each other and being there for one another. And that's really nowadays kind of bringing it back to basics, but sometimes that's really what we kind of need at this point.
Yeah.
Um, there's that infamous saying like we've never been more connected, but we've also never been more disconnected. And I feel like those types of like you said, those types of shows, if they can replicate themselves in real
Yeah. I just lost you volume wise. Can you speak? Let me speak.
life, or at least some of it, we're already, a step ahead. I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
I can hear you now. Okay.
I'm
It just
back.
kind of went
Okay,
out for
great.
a second. Okay.
It's that hotel Wi-Fi stuff.
Oh, okay. Great. 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 Yeah, that kind of happens. So, we know you've done a lot of movies with Hallmark and the Heartland series, and your character, let's talk about that for a second too. Your
Yeah.
character of Ashley has made a recent return to the show. How was
Yeah.
that coming back around?
Oh my goodness. So the last time I was on the show was season 7. And then they called me at the end of in the summer of last year, so summer 2024, and they're like, would Cindy be open to coming back for season 18? And I just about fell on the ground. It had been 11 years since I was on the show, and I was like, oh my gosh. And the fans have been so loyal and supportive all of these years. And the number one comment I used to get on my feed anywhere was like, "Are you coming back on Heartland? Are you coming back on Heartland? It will Ashley be on Heartland?" And I was like, "Guys, it's been like a decade. I don't think it's happening. Like, I love your enthusiasm." But then when I got that call, I was like, "I guess anything is possible," and I truly do believe that. And so,
The fans
I
made it happen.
they honestly did, and that's so lovely to hear. For me, it's just nice to know that people really resonated with the character and just like enjoyed her storyline. And
And she's
speaking of sass,
sassy.
yeah, I was just gonna say, speaking of sass, she's the epitome of. But yeah, so to be honest, I was a little bit scared to bring her back to life because after that much time, I'm just like, and myself, Cindy Busby, has grown and changed and expanded since then. And so I was like, is it like, do I have something to offer this character still? And I really took time to think about it. And I was like, you know what? I really want to do this for the fans. I really want to do this to reconnect with my Heartland family. And I know that I can do anything. So, like, let's just dive into the deep end. And it was amazing. The first scene I did was with Amber, who plays Amy. And I just remember like action, and we were doing the wide shot. And I just was like, oh, she's a part of me and she hasn't gone anywhere. And it was just like, so interesting how, I think as a person, you kind of tend to grow with your characters. So, whatever that side of you was for that character just kind of evolves with you. So when it comes out, it just naturally comes out in a different way because you've grown.
Uh-huh.
So that was a really cool thing to experience as an actor, and then they had me back for 2 episodes this season 19, which my first episode aired last Sunday, and then this coming Sunday, my second episode will air. So it's just been a blast, and honestly, it's just been so great to reconnect with that Heartland family because they really are like some of the crew are still working on the show from like season one, which is like mind blowing and a real testament to like what it's like to be on that show, which is it's such a positive experience. Everyone is amazing, and you just want to like it's such a blessing to work on a show like that.
Yeah, I would feel like for a show to last that long and to still resonate with viewers as well as it does,
Yeah.
there has to be a good working environment among the cast and crew
Yes.
overall, at least, because you would start to see it. The cracks would come through. You would, I think fans would eventually be able to tell that the disconnect was there and that people were like tired of working together or not getting along.
Yeah.
And so, and I think that when it's a show that long, and so
Yeah.
I think it speaks of the show, just kind of like When Calls the Heart. They've been on
Yeah,
forever too,
totally.
and not as long
Yeah.
as Heartland, but they've had a lot. I think
Yeah.
they're going into their 13th, maybe.
13, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
remarkable.
you know that there has to be, or at least you hope there's like a good dynamic, behind the scenes as well. And you see pictures when you guys are all like, just like with Brookfield now, and when Hope Calls, you guys take pictures together and play around behind set, and
Oh yeah.
that's something I want networks to realize too, is that the more content they share like that behind the scenes of you
Yeah.
guys goofing around or playing, like you and
Yeah.
Sam in your Christmas movie. I shared
Yes.
the clips on the social media
Yeah.
page. That's what makes viewers want to watch even more. We
Yeah.
feel more connected to the
Yeah.
characters when we're seeing the actors being playful with each other and getting along. It just draws us in more. So I think bring all the behind the scenes content It really,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it really works.
Oh, thanks for saying that because I'm such a huge proponent of that. Like I love taking content and it's not always easy when you're working
Yeah.
and you're in the moment and sometimes I wish I just had someone who just followed me and did that.
No.
At some point I'll get there, I guess. But yeah, it's really nice to get those funny moments and those behind the scenes. I mean, myself, even though like I'm an actor as a viewer, I love seeing that too. Like I love seeing the behind the scenes. I love seeing blooper reels. Like sometimes if I need a good laugh, I'll just go on YouTube and watch like
Yeah.
reels from like my favorite shows or movies and it just really brightens up my day. So I absolutely get that.
Yes. And we love seeing Susie um,
Yeah.
in all of your behind the scenes videos and pictures and things too, and walking around the set. I mean, that makes us want to watch too. Susie
Uh,
needs to make it onto the set and be in an episode. I think more
I
than the
know.
dog.
Yeah, there's another dog, Rufus. I
Oh
know
yeah,
everybody's like, "Oh, will Susie make an appearance?" And I'm always like, "I don't know. Did they have Chihuahuas back then? I don't know."
we
But
can make anything happen in TV world.
that's so true. That's so true. But she is indeed, the When Hope Calls mascot. She's like absolutely the cheerleader, and everybody like comes and pets her every single day. And if I don't bring her to set one day, they'll be like, "Where's Susie?" And I'm like,
Oh.
"Hey, it's nice to see you too."
Yeah,
Like
don't worry about me.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, no, and it's been so great that they've been, so welcoming, and a couple of the other crew members have dogs and things that have made their way to set as well, like, to the trailer park and things. So that's really nice, and it just goes to show you the type of people, right? Like people who love animals are always just so much more, empathetic and
Yes,
yeah, no, Susie, who's sleeping on my bed over there right now, is she loves going to set and I always tell her, "Okay, we're going to work now," and she knows and she gets up and well, she's usually about a minute before we have to leave the hotel, she's getting out of bed and then I'm putting her leash
she's a
on.
diva.
Yeah, she's a diva for sure. She needs her beauty sleep,
That's right. I'm going to be fashionably late.
Totally, totally.
Yeah. Um, I have a dog and we rescued her
Yay.
earlier this year. She is wild. She hasn't done it yet, but she has to be outside for my podcast because she is all over me. She barks really
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
But she's so sweet, and we have cats too. So I actually over there where I have that little
Yeah.
stool, there is usually a cat bed on it. I moved it over here for right now because I
Yeah.
normally have one of them sleeping in here while I'm on the computer. So big pet lover here too, and
Oh,
that's something about the networks that you work with also. They all are animal lovers behind the scenes and
yes.
stuff. I know Bill Abbott
Yeah.
is, and
Yes.
over at Hallmark, and Michelle Vickery's back, and she is
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
And Up TV, I mean, they have a TV show, Hudson and Rex. So
Yeah, that's right.
I love to watch shows that include animals and pets in a positive light and horses
Mhm.
and all the things. So yeah, like you said, it just makes it goes to show with an empathetic group of people that you're working with when you
Yeah,
see that. You kind of know who you're dealing with.
totally. Yeah, absolutely. And animals just like when you watch them in a show or in a movie, you can't help but like start smiling because they just like brighten up the screen
They steal
without
the
even
show a
knowing
lot.
it. Yeah. And you know what? That's totally fine with me. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. And yeah, no, it's amazing. And I've been so blessed to have worked with so many animals in my career, whether it was Unleashing Mr. Darcy and Heartland, of course, and A Puppy for Christmas, and now When
You
Hope Calls.
have.
And,
That's
yeah, no,
right.
and
That
Autumn
is yeah.
Staples. Like I've worked with animals a lot, which
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not complaining.
That's
I love
right.
it.
That's right. And the Darcy movies was something I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
My first time seeing you on Hallmark, I'm not sure, was it your first Hallmark movie? Was Unleashing Mr. Darcy your
Yeah,
first?
so that was my first lead in a movie. I
Okay.
was a supporting character in another movie called Lucky in Love.
Oh, I love
With,
that
with
one too.
yeah,
Yes, I remember.
With Jessica Shore and Ben Hollingsworth was in
Yeah.
it. So that was my first movie. And then after that movie, and I had brown hair, which was so interesting.
Yes, I had forgotten
Uh,
about that.
yeah, so I had brown hair in that one. And then right after that movie, I booked Cedar Cove, where I played Rebecca Jennings.
See, I never
Um,
watched that one, but I heard
oh,
people loved
yeah.
it. I know they loved it. And I love
It was
Dylan Neal, so
Yeah,
hands down.
Dylan is great, and actually my best friend Sarah Smith is in it. She played Andy McDowell's daughter, and we actually got to have a ton of scenes together, and we were like already best friends at that point too. So it was like another one of those dream jobs. And
Yeah.
my character Rebecca Jennings was quite sassy in that one too. So that was pretty fun. But
And
then
you
but
were quite
then after
sassy in Unleashing Mr. Darcy.
that, yeah.
I loved it. She was, well, I mean, it was very like a play on Pride and
Yes.
Prejudice and all, but I know that was based on Terry Wilson's book,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then you did the sequel with Ryan.
Yeah.
I thought you two did an excellent job in those roles because you were definitely like the yin and the yang coming together there. And I think that was it maybe Ryan's first movie.
It was both of our first leads in a Hallmark movie, which was, and I think a lot of the actors that were in it as well, like Tammy Gillis and Ryan Kennedy, like I think a lot of us hadn't done much in the Hallmark space at that point. Like we were all, experienced actors in other things.
Mhm.
And then of course we had Frances Fisher, who's,
Yes.
an incredible actress. And I was
Yes.
like, how did we get so lucky? And yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, there was something about that dynamic and the casting and just how everyone came together that just was so special. And then you add, all the dogs in there, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
just like, it was immediate gold. But yeah, Ryan and I, that was our first. And I don't think any of us knew like how big and popular that movie would be, and still to this day.
It
Um,
is. What's the dog
yeah.
Bliss? What's Does the dog name
Yes,
Bliss? Seems
Bliss.
like that just
Yeah.
came to me. Like I remember
Yes.
that, and
Yeah, who's since passed, which is like so sad.
I know
Uh,
that. Yeah, that's all.
I know,
That's the hard
but you know
part.
what? How great for them to have the memory of their dog live on forever in a movie. Like
That's right.
so cool.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's so special, and it was a really good movie, really good dynamic, and then you guys, people liked it so much, you got the sequel out of it,
Yeah,
which was great. We don't get that many sequels, and so when you get a sequel for a movie and you get to see a little more of the character stories,
totally.
that makes it even more relatable, and people really like that. And I know there are people who still talk about wanting you guys to do another one of those movies. I remember seeing some things about that. So that's
Yeah, yeah. People are like Darcy and a baby, or stuff like that. And I mean, Ryan and I have always said like we would hop on that bandwagon immediately, like there's no hesitation coming on our end. I just think that, there's always moving pieces behind the scenes
oh
that
yeah,
nobody's ever privy to, and I know that you know that having been through it yourself. And so, it's not always so simple, and there's it's not so black and white. So,
yeah.
at the end of the day, I am so grateful that we even got a second one, because that was definitely not in the books. And so, if another one came our way at some point, maybe at that point we'll be like in the senior home or whatnot. But
Or the two of you could just do another movie together. Maybe they'll.
totally,
You never
totally.
know. All things
Yeah.
come around, and um,
Yes.
another one of your great co-stars that you're starring in a second movie with. Correct? I think it's
Yes.
been more than two. Sam, is it just the
It's
second?
two. So this will be our second
I both
one.
with Great American.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I love Sam Page. I
Oh,
think he is just amazing. I love you too, but Sam
he's amazing. I mean, listen, I get the love. He's not only handsome, he's talented, extremely talented, and he's like genuinely the most down to earth, like chill guy who's just not like taken away by like any kind of fame or industry stuff. Like he's just such a great dad, a great husband, and just a man who loves to, bring characters to life and stories to life. And I absolutely adore working with him. It's so easy. And I understand why everyone loves him.
I love hearing that.
I feel the same. I feel the same.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, I was watching him on All My Children. That's when I was first
Yes,
introduced to
that's
him. I mean, oh my
right.
gosh,
Yes.
forever ago. But him, Cameron Matheson,
Oh,
Josh Dumel, they were all on All My Children.
yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I love all of them were great. But yeah, when I first saw him on a Hallmark movie, I was like, oh my goodness, there's another one from All My Children. So they love to get our soap opera guys, Ryan on
Yeah.
GH. So yeah,
Yeah.
lots of soap opera guys have made their way to our favorite networks. But yeah, so you guys worked at your show did because I knew that you two were going to make something special. And I think
Oh,
overall the fans like all of the shows, but I think there's a special place in their hearts for When
yes.
Hope Calls. That's the one they seem to really want to come back.
Yeah. Oh,
And
thanks.
and then finding out that, oh, now Cindy has a movie with Sam this year, and I have YouTube TV, and now the Great American Family, for those who don't
I
know, is on
know.
YouTube TV.
Ah, so
I can
exciting.
watch the Christmas
They've
movies
been,
without having to go and decide
yeah.
whether I wanted to get another service for it. So I'm excited about
Totally. Yeah,
that.
I know the fans were really rooting for the YouTube TV and it again behind the scenes there's always things that you got to navigate and move around and work toward but
And
I'm
they're a
so
newer
excited.
network, so they have to think
Yeah.
about
Yeah, and
the
every
budget spend too.
and the industry is so evolving constantly and it's been I mean in the last like 10 to 15 years it's evolved more than it ever has with
Yeah.
all of the streaming and different platforms and it's not as easy as it once was where you could just turn the television on and have the five
Yeah.
channels you once did so
Sometimes I really miss that.
right,
I
yes,
find
me
myself, I
too.
have several apps, but I find myself oftentimes thinking, I don't want to spend 30 minutes looking for something to watch. So I'm
Totally.
either binging something that I've probably already watched, or a
Right.
few shows my husband and I will watch, or I've got YouTube TV on and I'm watching like something on linear that, or cable,
Yeah,
um, that is either a favorite show or I'm watching, Hallmark. And
totally.
so, and now that, Great American's on there too, there are a few
Mm.
Christmas movies that I am interested in watching. And I'm also
Yeah.
going to say this November 30th,
Whoop, whoop.
horror movie comes on. And
Yes.
no, you do not need to go to the theaters that night to watch Candace and Cameron because you need to be watching Cindy Busby's movie. Then you can
Uh,
go to the theater on
yeah.
Monday or Tuesday.
Right,
But on
right.
the
Yeah.
30th, there are two movies they need to watch. They need to watch yours and they need to watch Aaron's. And I have to say, I mean, Aaron is my girl because
Of
she starred in
course. She was
Autumn and
in your
Uphill,
movie. Yes.
from my book. But I'm like, Cindy and Aaron, so we're going to be like, okay, watch one, record the other, watch them back to back so they count for same day ratings, whichever way you go.
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, you cannot tear me away from the television on November 30th
Oh,
for you
yay.
two. So tell
And
us
what a
more
what
about
a
that movie.
what a blessing to get to share that space with Erin Cahill. I absolutely adore her and yeah, I'm just as excited for her movie. But yeah, I'm so excited about my movie with Sam Page.
And what is the title now? Because I know it's
Oh,
changed.
I know. I literally can't even remember it myself. I'm like actually gonna look it up, which I look I looked at it before we started talking because I was like, so originally
Holmes.
it was called Homes for the Holidays.
Uh huh.
Then it was Three Homes for Christmas, but the official title
As of
is
today,
da-da-da, There's No Place Like Christmas.
there's no place like Christmas, November 30th.
We're gonna say it about three times just to get it into everyone's brains. There's
Well,
no
like
place
in
like
The
Christmas.
Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. You have to say it 3 times. So there's.
Um,
That's so
yeah,
funny.
and yeah, it's about my character Grace is a real estate agent, which I loved getting to play because I've always been so in love with homes and getting to see homes and my husband and I recently moved at the end of last year And so we had just gone through that experience of like shopping for a home and working with a real estate agent closely and getting to know how all of those, those inner workings go. And
Perfect
um,
timing.
it was perfect timing. So I felt like I'd already done my research.
Yep.
But yeah, so, Grace gets to go back to where she grew up and she hadn't been there in a really long time. And there's this big prize to win for the office in town if they sell the most houses during the holidays. And so which is also, by the way, the hardest time of year to sell a home.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's a lot of challenges. And of course, she meets the real estate agent's photographer, which is played by Sam Page. And they kind of butt heads at the beginning where he's sort of, that kind of strong-willed guy who just knows what he wants, and so is Grace. And so they kind of butt heads, but ultimately they find a lot of unity in their stories and their experiences. And yeah, it's really beautiful. There's a lot of, the community coming together, and charity as well, which I think is a really important part of the holiday season.
Yes.
It's not just about buying gifts for people, it's really about helping those less fortunate during that time and coming together as families and, again, community. And so I really love that part of the story. And yeah, our locations were so beautiful. The homes are gorgeous, like so beautiful. I love and they're all so different. And I think that was the biggest thing is making sure that they all had very different homes so that
Yeah.
on camera they just really shine in their own way. And yeah, it's a really beautiful story. And, don't want to give too much away, but of course, the audience will
It's
get what they
enemies to
want in the
lovers
end.
trope.
Yeah.
But in this case, enemies to cutesy.
Yeah,
We never go
very
quite to lovers in this space, but
yes,
that's the
yes, but
trope.
yeah, so it's a really great story, and the characters in it are so fun as well. Like the local real estate agents that Grace works with are absolutely lovely as well. And so yeah, I think it's really, it's really gonna make the audience just get that really good holiday feeling, and then also the kind of element of what the Christmas spirit is really all about. And and she's really in a lot of ways she's really giving these people this opportunity of finding each person their dream home,
Mhm.
while also maybe finding her own dream along the way.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a really sweet story, and I'm excited for everyone to see it.
oh,
There's no place like Christmas, November 30th.
there you go. We made sure we said it 3 times. I started looking over here because I was trying to. I was like, "You've answered a couple of my questions, and I didn't want to ask them again." So I was listening. I want you to know that, but I
Yeah,
was
no,
kind
no,
of
that's
looking to
good.
see what. Um.
Good.
So if you may have just answered this, but I was going to say, what career would you want if to have if you were not an actress? But I feel like we may have just stumbled upon one.
I mean, you know what? A real estate agent would be so fun. However, it's a lot of your time, like on weekends and
Yes, I have
evenings.
friends who are in that industry.
Yeah, there's not like, because you have to make yourself available to when your client is available to go visit the home. So in that aspect, although not much different than an actor's, you kind of have to like give up your life in a lot of ways, but get so much in return as well. I would say my dream job, if I wasn't out helping people, because I just really love working with people and engaging with people and being of service to people. Um, I would say organizing. Like I absolutely love organizing. I love organizing drawers. I love organizing closets. I love,
Oh,
and in
come over.
fact,
I've got a closet that needs some work.
I love it. I always have. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm not even kidding. I'd go to my friend's house and their rooms would be all messy. I'd be like 12 years old, and I would actually clean their room. So we'd be like hanging out, and I'd like start organizing their room and putting their things away. And their parents all loved me in
Oh
return
yeah.
because they were like, "You can come over, Cindy, anytime."
Anytime. I've got some kids. The kitchen pantry needs a little work if you're bored.
There's just such a sense of satisfaction of seeing a space and then leaving it in a different way that really, I don't know, that part of me just really loves seeing like the before and after.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
really neat. It also makes me think of an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Have you
Ooh.
ever seen that show?
I've seen it, but not too much of it.
There is an episode. Sheldon is very quirky, and
Yes.
he organizes a closet for Howard and Bernadette, and they're just amazed when he's done. Of course, he's got his quirky edge to it, but they're
Yeah.
just like stunned. You know, this closet they couldn't even walk in, and now it's like amazing, and there's so much
Wow.
more space they could use. And that's I immediately thought of that when you're talking about organizing.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great. Um, I'm just going through my list here because I was like, we've covered a
Yeah.
few of these things. What was your first job before acting? Like, did you ever do anything else before acting?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
stick around at the coffee shop or anything?
I have had a lot of part-time jobs. I I'll just name a few. I've worked in clothing stores, which honestly I never enjoyed. I don't like the selling aspect of retail. I was that person who would spend, like 45 minutes with one person just to make sure that they were like well taken care of and that they found exactly what they wanted, versus other people would be like here, there, and everywhere. So I never was great at retail. I worked in restaurants, which I loved, and I'd say I did that more than anything. I worked in an Italian restaurant. I worked in a steakhouse. I also worked for a farmer one summer as a part-time job where I was selling the fruits and vegetable at the stand on the side of the road, which was actually really fun, but also very lonely because I'd be alone all day unless customers were coming in. So I wasn't like crazy about that job, although the farmer was amazing. He was such a
I grew
great
up
guy.
on a farm, so
Oh yeah. I
I
mean,
like
farmers
that.
are the best. I mean, what do we do without them? I don't know. Um, and then I mean, one of my favorite jobs that I had was where I worked at Space Camp Canada, where I worked in the Space Science Center. So it was like divided into two spaces. It was the Space Camp and the Space Science Center, which was a museum. And I gave everyone from 3-year-olds to 95-year-olds guided tours about rockets and the solar system and the lunar landing and satellites and,
So you're
and all.
like we have like the museum educators and stuff, people who work in like the museums who do that, and because it was something I considered doing because I have a degree in education, and
Mm.
I thought about segueing into that. That's what you, yeah, that sounds fun
Yeah,
though.
I did that for about 3 years, well, about 2 years, and then I ended up working in the reservation department for the space camp, where we would have schools come and anything from kindergarten classes to special education, etc. So it was really, I really really loved that job, and then I think that's when I booked Heartland was when I was working there. And so I had to leave because I just wouldn't be able to give it the time that I could. But they were so, I mean, every job I've had, which is the most important part, was extremely understanding of my needing to potentially go for 2 hours because I
Yeah.
had an audition to go do that afternoon, and then I'd come back to work, and so they were always really understanding of that, and I was very communicative with them about what my needs and were, and honestly, if it wasn't for all those jobs I had, like I don't like they're what helped me, sustain my life while I was trying to make it in acting,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for that experience because I think working in the service industry is so important for every person because you really get to learn about, appreciating those people, those jobs, and how important they are, and
Mhm.
how it can be stressful and difficult at times. And I certainly don't take that for granted. So I'm very thankful to them.
And just think of all the research you got for roles from doing all
So
of
much research.
that. mean, I'm just
All the different
thinking
types.
so many roles right there that, you've had experiences that
Yeah,
relate to that. They give you that background. I also worked
totally.
retail in high school. So,
Yep.
I know that my problem there though was discount. Like it was hard to make more than gas money because I would spend my money using my
Yeah, you end up
discount.
buying, you end up spending all your money where you work.
Yep. Yeah, that was my problem with that.
I get that. I get that.
Okay, so when you have had a challenge or a setback in your career,
Hmm.
such as, I mean, this is a very fickle time in the industry now. I mean, with getting work, and I mean, I hear about it a
Yep.
lot with
Yeah.
changes all the time in budget and this,
Yep.
that, and the other. When you have had a setback or a challenge, whether it is in career or personal, what are some things you do to try and for mental health purposes to try to help give yourself some grace during that
Mhm.
time frame?
Um, I really, first of all, think it's really important to feel whatever it is that you're going to feel, and allow that to kind of move through you. And, whether that's sadness or anger or injustice or whatever those feelings are, I think it's really important to feel them because by allowing them to be, they can kind of like escape you in an
Yeah,
easier way where you're not holding on to them for dear life. And ways that I feel those things are, through movement. I think moving your body is so incredible. It also can be free, whether it's just going for a long walk, or going for a run, or doing yoga at home. For me, a lot of that has been walking, and Pilates is something I absolutely love. And then also just having a really great circle around you that you trust and that know you and they
yeah,
know you, that part of
right.
you that works so hard and that can be let down. And, they're not going to try to sugarcoat things, but they're also going to be there for you and listen and remind you of how far you've come. Because
Yeah,
sometimes I think we forget, in the moment and in the feeling, it just feels like, what's the point? And
yeah,
like it's never happening for me. And sometimes you can find yourself in that victim mentality. um but I think having those people you really trust and that love you is such a game changer, whether that's your best friend or your mom or your husband. um I think that like having a close knit community has been life changing for me.
yeah.
And then also meditation has been a really big part. Writing, has been a really great release. And then also, something I have taken on in the last couple years is I've created mantras for myself. And these mantras are things that I just continuously repeat in my mind that go against the grain of what my mind is trying to have me believe in that moment,
I
which
love
is
that.
not necessarily true. I think we're always the hardest people on ourselves.
Yeah,
So
we're
it's
our
like
harshest critic.
truly,
Well, mine is some of the people on social media that we just have to ignore.
yeah, I think the greatest thing I've learned is never go read the comment sections.
Never,
Uh,
never.
it's It's awful. Yeah, I always ask myself like, uh, I've never written a bad comment about anything. Like so I always find it really fascinating when people do because I'm just like,
Yes.
why do you feel like you need to do that? Like just don't say anything at all. Like you're entitled to feel and believe these things if you want to, but this is also a human being, who has feelings and is just a regular person trying to, show up in their life, make a living, do the best they can, and it's just
Yeah, I
but it
cannot.
is what it is.
The like comments about someone's hair. I mean, like, oh, you should keep your hair short. You should not have your hair like that. You need to color it this back to this color, or the things about men who have any kind of facial hair, and the
Oh
people
yeah.
who, oh, you need to be clean shaven. I'm like, who are you to tell somebody what they need to be? So
You
it's
know,
funny. I just when I have read them, I'll start to get annoyed by it for other people, and then I'm like, no, just laugh it off and move away from it because it can suck you in and steal your joy, and you just hope
yeah.
that others that they're talking about, don't read it, because some people just get pleasure out of, their pain. Like maybe they're lonely or something, and they just feel like, well, if someone else said something negative, maybe they make a friend by joining into that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah,
but it's sad. It's just, I
it
just wish we
is.
had more of a positive environment in that world to lift each other up
And
instead.
I think that that really stems from, finding joy in your own life. And
Yeah,
I really empathize with people who feel like they need to spread hate or unloving content because I I just think it's really about like let's bring it back to ourselves because if we really feel complete and loving within ourselves, we won't need to share that kind of experience.
right.
Because we'll be complete with ourselves that we don't need to hate and love because all we have to share is love.
That's right.
And that's kind of how I feel. And another thing I'd like to point out in regards to your question is something that's really helped me, and this is something I've really only uncovered in the last few years of my life. Fortunately and unfortunately, however, it's really about boundaries.
Yeah,
For a long time, I think I found myself really wanting to people please and really go above and beyond myself to make other people happy and to give more of myself to others than I would to myself. And the moment that I chose me and I chose to fill my cup first
mm-hmm.
allowed me to then like overflow into other people's cup, so to speak. And that's not from like a selfish perspective. It's really like I really don't have much to give at this moment because I'm really feeling tired or worn down. So I'm going to kind of fill myself up first so that I can be the best version of myself for others afterward. Because if we're constantly running on empty, we can't give the best of ourselves to other people. And I really feel like creating boundaries of being able to say no to things and being so that when you can say yes to things, you're really bringing all of you to that thing. And that's really important for my work too, because I work around people all day long. And so I give so much of myself and so on the weekend, for example, I'll just relax and be with my dog and do things that bring me joy like reading a book or listening to really positive podcasts and things like that. So boundaries has been really really a helpful tool where I'm not being the yes woman and not giving my time where it's not appreciated.
Right. Yeah, and you said that so perfectly, eloquently. Just because some people take that and they say, "Oh, you're gonna fill your cup." Well, what is that? Like you said, it's not a selfish thing. You can't
No.
be kind and generous to other people if you're running on empty. You have to have
Yes.
your cup full, so then you can be there for other people and share that love. So, you've got to take care of yourself in order to be there for other people, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a clip that I share on
Oh,
social media
thanks.
because I think that was just, that is a very good takeaway
Yeah,
for
and
other
and and
people.
and really, it's not selfish because by wanting me to be the best version of me, I can help you be the best version of you because then I am an example
Right.
of a boundary and some people might be agitated by that because they themselves have not created those things in their lives, but I really try to use my life as an example for myself and for those around me where I really believe in a ripple effect of how can I inspire those around me to be the best version of themselves. The only way I can do that is by being the best version of myself.
Yeah. Because, like you
But
said, if your cup is empty, your internal cup, like you're thinking,
yeah,
it's like if you're sick, how do you feel when you're sick? You're grumpy, you're irritable, you're
yeah,
not as, friendly, you're not able to do all the things you
totally.
want to do. So, and
Yep.
that's the same effect when you have just kind of, run yourself down and you're not taking some time to say, no, I can't do this right now. I have to focus on me because I have to get my headspace and my physical body where it needs to be by,
Yes.
like you said, whether it's exercise, watching a movie, spending time with loved ones,
Yeah.
or your dog, or just
Yes.
watching a cozy movie, something that can
Yeah.
help fill your cup back up, and then you can be
Yeah.
better for other people. And that's
Totally.
that's so important. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
One other thing before we get to a little rapid fire is if
Okay.
you could have one thing, when you come onto set, like whether it's like in your trailer or when you guys first meet or whatever, this I get some questions online and some things I come up with on my own. This is one of my own. What
Okay.
is something you would like to have on set that you don't have now, or if it's already there, the best thing that you do have that sets the tone for you. So, in other words, if you're coming on set for the first time, what is something you would like to see in your trailer, whether it be flowers or something, or if you guys all get to meet for dinner, what is something that you think would help to make a positive experience for you on
Mm.
set and then set the tone for everyone that you're working with? Like it's kind of like a two-parter there.
Ah, wow. Well, what I already have now, which I'm so grateful for every day, is when I go to set, Susie comes with me, and just getting to have her there with me as that kind of grounding force as soon as I open up the trailer door, she's there wagging her tail and so excited, and like for me that just really like fills me up because she's just so present and loving, and it just reminds me continuously to be present and loving.
I
And
don't
she
think you can beat that.
you just can't beat that. So one of the main reasons I love to bring her to set is because she takes me outside of myself, which
Yes.
is such a huge thing. And then another thing that I really enjoy, um, if it was like maybe like a welcome dinner or something for the beginning of a project, I love it when people go around the table and share something really, like a fun fact about themselves, or like a quirky little thing, or like their favorite memory on set or whatever it is, because I really love getting to know people on a really deeper level and opening a different door that maybe wouldn't have been opened otherwise because
Yeah.
we're working, or but getting to know someone on a completely different basis that has nothing to do with the work,
Right.
it's something I absolutely love because it might be something that I can relate to, or that I've been wanting to do, or maybe I had the same experience, or maybe like I can empathize with that. Like it just creates a more human interaction. And I really love those kinds of moments. To me, it allows me to feel closer to people.
Yeah.
And acting is such an intimate experience that anytime I can get closer, it means a lot.
I love that. Love that. Love that.
Yeah,
We're going to do a few rapid fire questions where we are going to ask you, I'm going to ask you a couple of things that are just like that, like just random facts about you. Um,
great.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
I had 2 cups already, so I switched to water, but usually it's
Yeah.
tea. I mean, usually it's coffee. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird. Early bird, hands
Yeah,
down.
me too. I'm more of a get up in the morning, get it done. I'm ready to get to bed by 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah, same. I am all about the 9:30. I mean, unfortunately, when I'm working, I don't really get to
Oh
have a
no.
regular schedule.
Yeah.
So I really look forward to going back to that when I go back home. Yeah.
If you could spend a week in one decade, which one would it be and why?
Ooh. Um,
Whether it be for fashion, music,
yeah.
anything, on the fun side of reasons.
I think I would probably say like the 1950s.
I love
I just,
that's mine too.
right? I just thought, besides like this maybe social aspects, of potentially being a woman during that time, but the fashion I thought was so beautiful, and the cars are amazing. I think the music is like some of my favorite. Um, yeah, it just feels like there was a bit more, community, and yeah, I think the 50s would be like a really cool era.
Yeah, I love the 50s. That was my favorite too. I was like just the whole idea of going to like a diner and having like a
A big
massive,
milkshake,
yeah,
and
I
yeah.
think with sharing with like 4 people and stuff and roller
Totally.
skates. It just seems fun.
Yes.
Poodle
Yeah,
skirts.
there's something romanticized about it. Maybe if I got there, I'd be like, oh no, but I don't know. Right now, it kind of feels like a nice fantasy.
Yes, I try to look at just the positive sides. We don't look at
Totally.
the
No,
dark
no, no.
underbelly of it. But yeah,
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, if you were an ice cream flavor, what would you
yeah.
be?
Oh wow. Okay, well my favorite ice cream flavor is like cookie dough ice cream, but I think if you're asking what my character
Personality.
and personality would be as ice cream, uh like I think it would be a mishmash of like three different types of
Yeah,
ice
I was like,
cream.
first, the only thing that would come to me was to be like Rocky Road or something.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that, which is so funny that you said that. Rocky Road, I mean, it certainly has been rocky, but it's also been amazing. Or like Neapolitan ice cream, that like vanilla chocolate and strawberry, where it's like a little bit of everything all at
Yes,
once,
like
but
I
you can
like.
also just dabble in either or. So
Yes,
yeah, maybe that.
yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Have you ever been starstruck by meeting someone?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say I was probably starstruck when I worked with Leah Thompson. We did a Lifetime movie together a very long time ago, and I got to play her daughter. It was called A Life Interrupted, and when I booked the role, I had initially auditioned for a different role, but they gave me that one instead. So I hadn't even auditioned for that role. And so I was like, "Oh, what character is this?" And then when I went to my costume fitting, I saw the photo of Leah Thompson on the wall, and I was like, wait a minute, who's that? They're like, oh, that's Leah Thompson. She's playing your mom. And I was like, what? Because Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. And it's probably the movie I've seen the most ever. And so that was a huge, huge deal for me. And she did not disappoint. She is like the kindest, funniest person. So yeah, I was starstruck at first, but then afterwards we actually just had a really nice friendship, which was like the best case scenario.
Yeah. Um, so I am a little older than you, so I've got a few years on you, and
Yeah.
I loved her in Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
seen it? Oh,
Yes.
I loved it. I loved her in that one too. So Back
Yeah.
to the Future, I like that one too. But I was in the like John Hughes phase. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I was young when I was like, 13, 14 when some of those like movies were more popular. But
Yeah.
Some Kind of Wonderful is, I mean, but in the 90s, I was going back and watching
Oh yeah. Oh,
all of
same.
those. So,
Same. All the 80s movies are
yes,
my absolute 80s and 90s was like my time. It was my
yes,
era. Love.
yes, loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
And if okay, for Christmas movies, what is one thing that you think every Christmas movie should include?
Mm. Every Christmas movie should include uh like a massive like dinner scene.
Yes.
um like one of those, all the cookies, all of the turkey and the mash, just like a really beautiful scene of around the table, which is kind of probably different than what a lot of people would say, but there's something about that time
Because
that
that's what I want. Something different. I don't,
that's
because anybody could say decorations,
yeah, yeah, and
but
I mean, I like decorating a Christmas tree is like very important to me, but I would say like around the dinner table, like all of the gravy and the mashed potatoes and the turkey and the shortbread cookies and the like all of the things. Um and the stuffing and the other thing I feel, because this is something that really matters to me in my life, is creating the Christmas village is like my favorite thing as far as decorating goes. And I feel like there's not enough emphasis on the Christmas village in most movies and
yeah.
most people in general. And it's like I love it, like the houses and the little people and the cars and like the little street lights and the little bench with the person on the bench with like reading the newspaper and like a little like bridge, or maybe like a train, like all the things. It's just like It's
Okay,
so fun.
screenwriters, anyone hears this, we need this put into the movies. Like I've done in like my books, like there's a gingerbread contest, and they're doing that. But
Yes.
the village idea is really cool to make like your own, to have like
Yeah.
a family coming together and
Yeah.
putting together their village as something that they do together. And then if there's a kid involved in the story, you can have
Yeah.
like the train around. Yeah, I think that's really special. Like
Because you're
I love
creating
that.
like a world. You're creating a world
Yes.
underneath the tree, which is like which is really fun. And every year you can make it different, which is the best.
And so, what you just said there gives me the takeaway of the kind of person. What I wanted to do was determine what I see for you as what type of Christmas person are you? And I see sentimental, and I'm
Yeah.
sentimental. I want to
Yeah.
see sentimental scenes in a Christmas movie. Yes, we can have something fun and lighthearted and whatever. I don't want to see anybody die because I don't want to
No. So
cry. But and please don't let anybody's dog be dying or anything.
oh gosh, I can't
Can't
handle that.
can't do it. But the sentiment, the sentimental stuff,
Oh, big time.
that's what I'm hearing from you, and that's what I want to. I want something that feels connected because that's what my family does. We get
Yeah.
together and have a dinner,
Yeah.
and whether we go to church regularly or we don't or whatever, we are always going to have a prayer before our meal because
Yeah.
that's what Christmas is for and about. And even if you're not religious, your family can sit there and talk about something that they're grateful for, like we do at
Oh, absolutely.
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Yeah.
just that moment of connection with the people around you. And I
Yeah.
think that's what these movies should be about and for, to have the lightheartedness, have the fun, have some serious moments or something you have to overcome. But at the heart of it, we need that the sentimental scenes, like you said,
Yes.
putting and little touches that people can relate to. So I
Yeah.
love your answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. Sentimental is absolutely like every year I try to recreate like something new while it also being like the same because it
Yeah,
reminds me of the old version.
we need to see a picture of your Christmas village um,
Oh yeah.
when
Yeah.
when you decorate this year.
Oh, I 100%
Got to
done.
see that.
Yeah.
And one last thing, because you said it is something you like to see when you have this meeting with everyone on set, a fun fact about them. Tell us a fun fact about Cindy Busby that people
Ooh,
don't know.
that they don't know. Gosh, I'm trying to think of something absolutely new. Um, Something they don't know about me. I mean, I've already said like I'm a French Canadian, so actually French was my first language that I ever spoke. Um, so okay, fun fact about me. I've moved around in my life. Like I've probably lived in I'm gonna say probably around 30 different places in
Oh
my life.
wow.
Yeah, my family moved around a lot. And not necessarily like always far away, but just in new homes, new apartments.
And
So
you're from
growing up,
Montreal, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up in Montreal. So a fun fact about me is I moved around a lot and my family always kind of teases me because as an actor, I'm always like shooting here, shooting there. So I'm always packing my bags and they're like, well,
Yeah.
you got a lot of experience packing your
Yes.
bags and packing your, the boxes when you were younger. So that's like kind of like the story of my life is packing and unpacking. Um, so I guess that's a fun fact is I moved around a lot. So I also, but as much as I can adapt really quickly, I'm also very much a creature of habit. So I look for the, everywhere I am, I'm always looking for that grounding force that's going to allow me to feel comfortable and at home.
Yeah.
And that's my dog Susie, whether that's, me traveling with my favorite snacks or my blender so I can make my smoothie. It's all the little things
Yeah.
that for other people might seem frivolous, but for me really allow me to feel at home wherever I am. And so I've kind of found those little things that help.
And you live in the US too,
Yes.
right? Like you
Yeah.
like now, like aren't you in LA or somewhere?
Yes. Yeah. I live just outside of LA and I've been living out there for like 10 years. I'm Canadian and I also just became American at the beginning of last year. So that was
Welcome.
kind of I know it was a really exciting moment for me. It's you work you work toward that with it's a long process getting the visas, getting the green card, and then that. So it was a really nice like moment
So now
that I
you're French Canadian American.
That's right. Who knew? Who knew?
For all the things,
It's
yeah.
the best. It's the best.
And I
I'm
think all three countries proudly claim you as their own. So thank you so
I'm
much, Cindy, for
yeah,
coming on
thank you
today.
for having me. This was so
You've
fun.
been amazing. And for When Hope Calls, do you know when that is coming back yet, or is that still like a secret?
I it's not even a secret because I don't
They
even
just don't know
know.
yet. Okay.
Yeah, it'll definitely be, I'm gonna say in the first half of 2026 is what I'm gonna say. But as of right now, I genuinely have no idea. I
And
really
y'all are
hope it's
you're still
it's
filming it right now, though, right? You have it
we are
wrapped. Mhm.
Yeah, no, we still have like another month of shooting, but I will say the stories are just as great, and all of your favorite people are back, and it's the ending is another good one.
Is there a little more romance blooming with a certain Mountie?
I mean, so much romance, so much action, so much comedy. It's like, yeah, I just love the story so much. Alfonso, our showrunner and creator is just such a mastermind when it comes to just creating all of these worlds and these storylines, and all the characters are just so well developed, and the actors that we have are like mind-blowing, so talented. And yeah, next year, stay tuned.
Amazing. Amazing. And we have There's No Place Like Christmas,
Yes,
the front
November
page, November
30th.
30th. And one final question. Do you have anything else in the works that you may be filming that could be bringing you back to Hallmark at some point? Because your Hallmark fans
I
want
know.
and
Uh,
everybody should just watch whatever they want to. So, but
of
if some
course.
people don't get Great American,
Yes.
who do get Hallmark, who are wondering when you might be back there. So
Yeah,
you
I
are open
don't,
to it at least, right?
as of right now, I don't have any other projects on the books. My main focus right now is When Hope Calls. And, I hope something comes up, and that would be amazing. And, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what 2026 has to
That's
offer.
right. And you said there's another episode of Heartland.
It's premiering this Sunday on CBC Gem, and then of course the Netflix and such gets the
Yeah,
Heartland
they get
episode
it
a little bit later.
later.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So right now it's just in Canada. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to keep up with. I
I
remember seeing the
know.
video clips, and it gets confusing because there's like there's season ahead in
Yeah.
Canada than in the
Yeah.
U.S. or whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so we can see Cindy in several places. So that's awesome. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Cindy, and I hope that you have
Thank
a great
you.
weekend.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.